So I had an opportunity to attend a National Entrepreneur Association event, the NEA, the Entrepreneurs Forum called Connections this past week. And I'll tell you, it was just an incredible experience. It is nothing like being in a room with other entrepreneurs and professionals. And specifically, I'm going to focus on entrepreneurs who are leveling up, who are not just talking about it, not just opining about it, not just posting about it, but are actually about doing the deal, right? There's a axiom that's said out there that iron sharpens iron, and I believe that, but only to an extent. But I really believe is sharp iron sharpens iron, right? You hang around a bunch of dull knives, you see where that gets you. And so, definitely I encourage individuals to take advantage of events like this, and definitely shout out to National Entrepreneurs Association. It's just nothing, once again, like being around individuals who are willing to be transparent, open, and honest about the challenges of being an entrepreneur, and to share their invaluable experience. So often people keep invaluable content like that to themselves, and that just, in that environment, is the exact opposite. It's like soul food for the entrepreneurial soul, right? Kind of redundant, but you get the point. And so there were two things that I wanted to share as a result of my experience there this past Friday. And number one, the event, everyone who participated did a phenomenal job, but there were two individuals for me personally that stuck out, and they shared some incredible nuggets that I thought were worthwhile passing along. And one of them was provided by Ms. Carla Miller. Once again, incredible leader, incredible entrepreneur, so transparent, so real. The term gets thrown out a lot, but definitely is suitable when you're talking about Ms. Carla Miller. But she talked about the ideal of decisions and consequences, right? Decisions and consequences, and what that means in terms of being an entrepreneur. And I thought that was so absolutely important, because at the end of the day, you have these self-help gurus, you have these supposed entrepreneurial consultants who are spreading this ideal that you have to find this balance, and you have to go out and sip more tea and enjoy and smell the roses and sit on your porch and read and pick mangoes. And the bottom line is, look, in entrepreneurship, there are periods of time when you are leveling up in particular, and that's what I mean, like when you're leveling up, when you're in the thick of things, when your derriere is on the line, you don't have the luxury of doing those things. You just really don't. You have to do a cost-benefit analysis, right? You have to make decisions and accept the consequences. You can't blame anyone else but you, because your family is depending on you. Your business, the livelihood of your business is dependent upon decisions you make, right? Your employees oftentimes, for those who have employees, the vendors, right? Your clients, they're all dependent upon you. You're part of an ecosystem. And when you're an entrepreneur, you don't have the luxury that someone who's working a job has, right? Someone who's working a job can call off sick or slick. Someone who's working a job can say, you know what, I'm gonna spend this night hanging out with friends and have a couple beers or have a glass of wine and do whatever the case may be. When you're an entrepreneur, there are trade-offs. There's a price if you do, there's a price if you don't. If you go hang out, there's a price to your business. If you don't hang out, there's a price in terms of you missed out on another social event with the family or friends, right? I mean, these are the trade-offs, these are the decisions, the calculated risks you have to take. And that's the difference, right? There's no supervisor to blame. There's no manager to blame if you don't execute. There's no colleague to blame if you don't execute. If one of yours, quote unquote, workers that you're managing or supervising, right? Oftentimes in corporate America or in a job environment, you can kind of blame them for your shortfalls. It doesn't work that way when you're an entrepreneur. If you have a partner or an employee that doesn't execute, the buck stops with you. You have to make the decision as to whether or not you sit down with them and have a discussion and talk about, look, how do we fix this? What systems do we need to put in place? What are some things we need to change to execute more effectively? Or you have to make the decision and say, you know what, this isn't working. Firing and hiring, right? That's part of the deal when you're an entrepreneur and you're a business owner and you're leveling up. So I thought it was so absolutely incredible for her to share that invaluable insight and to be transparent about her personal experiences and how these decisions have kind of played out. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's really all about. I remember Dr. Zelania Allen said in particular, what we try to teach individuals at the NEA is that you have to take personal responsibility for everything that happens and transpires in your life and in your business life when you're going to commit to this thing called entrepreneurship. And that was just absolutely powerful. So yeah, I mean, and I'm speaking specifically for those who said, look, I'm gonna do this full time, I'm gonna do this part time, right? You can moonlight, you can do it on the side. I think while entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, entrepreneurial activity is for everyone. But the bottom line is when you commit to this thing called entrepreneurship, you may have to have that conversation with family, friends, and loved ones, say, look, this is the thing, this is what I'm doing. And so it was absolutely incredible to hear that. Ms. Tisha Hammond, another individual who made a dramatic impact, she talked about the guest policy and how when you're networking a room, how you should conduct yourself. Because oftentimes, individuals will oftentimes come to a social event and they're really not clear about what they should be taking aim at. What's the best approach, right? You have individuals who are running around giving out their business cards to everyone. You have individuals who are quote unquote leaning in, or whatever you want to call it. Well, every person that shakes their hand, they have to take 15, 20 minutes and just go hard, right? And try to sell them on what it is that they're doing. You have these variety of philosophies and ideals of how to get things done. And I love Ms. Hammond's the anecdote or metaphor that she shared in terms of how she operates. I just thought it was so insightful. And the ideal of treating everyone at a networking event as your guest. If you were throwing an event in your living room, if you were throwing an event at your residence, you would want everyone to be comfortable. So you would go out of your way to treat people that way, right? You would say hi and hello. You can't get around to everyone, but you'd smile at everyone. You can't have a conversation about what it is you do with 99 individuals. So instead of doing that, you'll have deep conversations with several individuals. And it's not all about what it is you're selling or what you're doing. You'd actually take the time to learn about them. You'd actually take the time to create connection, create a substantive relationship. So you have stickiness, if you will, or you leave a good taste in their mouth or a good feeling about you, so when you follow up, they remember who you are. I thought that was phenomenal, right? To actually understand that at the end of the day, that's one of the most effective approaches you can have. That is what success looks like at an entrepreneurial event. It's not about trying to drive your product or service down everyone's throat. It's oftentimes simply taking the time to learn about what other individuals are doing, right? Develop, once again, that substantive relationship. Find out what their motivations are. Find out what's most important to them. Find out what they're taking aim at, right? And then, of course, making sure that, you're a connector. Another way in which you can give back, create a good feeling, have individuals feeling good about the fact that they took the time to network and shake your hand in the first place. Connecting entrepreneurs and business owners who may have synergy or may be doing some things in common where working together wouldn't be a bad ideal. I thought that was some incredible insight. So these are the two nuggets that I took from the event. I mean, there were hundreds of them. Everyone did a phenomenal job, but I felt like these are the things that made the greatest impact with me. Not that these ideals were novel, but sometimes just being in an environment where you're getting that positive reinforcement, that reminder, right? Sharpening the saw. Can't put a price on that. So, I want to thank everyone who participated at the event. I want to thank particularly the keynote speakers and the panelists. And, go further, go harder, go farther. And everyone have a fantastic day. As always, goodbye for now.